Hello everyone, my name's Jalise. I'm doing the X-Men film franchise review. I'm doing all the X-Men movies from X-Men to X-Men the First Class. I'm going to give you my reviews about the best and the worst, what I like about each movie, what I didn't like about the whole franchise. Basically, this is all about all-in-all discussion of basically all the X-Men movies and how I rate it and everything. And I'll give you like not a sneak peek preview, but a discussion about X-Men the Future one, the X-Men 4 Future Class, Days of Future Past, or something like that. And a new one, Wolverine, is coming out. So let's start off with X-Men 1. Now, X-Men 1 is basically the beginning. It started off in 2000 or 999. And in this film, it starts off with basically Wolverine and Rogue. Rogue, who's a girl that left her family's home because she kissed a boy and nearly killed him. So she's out. She's just run away. She's traveling around, and she meets Logan, which is basically in Canada, and he's basically just fighting people, living his life, drinking beer, and moving on in his life. This one, they kind of sort of bond, and they're attacked by none other than Sabretooth in this movie. They're attacked by Sabretooth. And in this one, Sabretooth is basically a minion of Magneto, who is played by Ian McKellen, who is a great actor. And in this one, we all know the story between Magneto and Charles Xavier. Charles Xavier wants to protect humans and mutants so they could coexist with one another. Magneto wants either to humans to be destroyed, to recognize the mutants are the superior life forms, and that he believes they can coexist. So he believes that his fellow brothers, mutants, are the basically not the cure, but the next stage in human evolution. All in all, for the beginning, it's actually a really great film. It's definitely worth your money's worth. Out of a 10, I give this like an 8.5. It's not like the greatest of all time, but it's a great start to the entire franchise for the X-Men series. Great casting choices. Halle Berry as Storm, I liked her. Hugh Jackman Wolverine is tremendous. Cyclops, I gotta play Cyclops, is good. Rogue is always good. The girl that plays Jean Grey, she was in one of the James Bond films. Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier is a great casting choice. We have Toad, we have Sabretooth, we have Mystique. Everything you could want for an X-Men movie, and the story was pretty good. The story revolves around basically Magneto wants to make all humans mutants. So basically in this one, Charles Xavier is trying to stop him from doing this and from killing the humans in the sort. So it's a great start to the franchise. Like I said, 8.5 out of 10. Now, not easily no more, but the best X-Men film is X-Men 2 United. Now, X-Men 2 United is basically, it really goes from the comics from this one. It's a great X-Men film. Basically, this film, what makes this film the best of all the X-Men films is because it doesn't focus all on Wolverine, or it doesn't focus on one character. It focuses on everyone. You have the story arc with Wolverine and his origins of like how he became Wolverine. Then you got a little bit of Storm, who's actually discussing her views between humans, anger, and pity with Nightcrawler, who makes a tremendous scene, which is probably my favorite scene in the entire X-Men franchise, when he attacks the president, and it's just awesome. Another great thing about it, they also show Cyclops and Jean Grey in a sort of sense. They actually give them some parts. They give Rogue and Iceman. We could see Pyro blasting off. Basically, in this entire film, William Stryker, who is the father of a mutant, basically wants to exterminate all mutants, or basically kill them all, and try and turn humans against them to create a war. This one, he goes to X-Men Mansion, he tries to kidnap everyone, and it's just an all-out war, basically, for the mansion. And then they escape, and it's all about trying to stop another war from happening, and for let it to happen. Alliances are formed, people are tested. It's a great X-Men film. I have no complaints hardly about this entire thing, only that they focus a little bit too much on Wolverine like they always do. But in this one, I give this like a 9.5 out of 10. This was such a great X-Men film. I have hardly any complaints about it. You should really check it out. X-Men 2. United. Now, X-Men 3, Last Stand. Let me tell you something. There's a superhero curse where always the third film of a superhero film sucks. Spider-Man 3, Superman 3, Blade Trinity, and now the X-Men Last Stand. It was terrible. This film was bad as hell. I'll tell you the reasons why. One, Nightcrawler's gone. I could accept that. He could probably searching around for that. There was a story plot around this is that humans have found a cure for mutants in this one. And it's basically one of the most stupidest things because Magneto wants to destroy the cure. The X-Men want to not save it, but make sure that Magneto doesn't destroy it and causes this choice. And this film is very unrealistic in a certain sense that come on, if the humans have found a cure for mutants, they're going to push it on them. They're going to do it to them whether they like it or not. They don't care if it's their choice. They would do it, in my opinion. Another thing bad about this film, they didn't have Cyclops. They kill him off. I'm serious. The leader of the freaking X-Men gets killed off. And of course, they focus on the main story. The main actor is Hugh Jackman Wolverine. And they had Beast, who's played by the guy that was in Frasier. And I liked him as Beast. It was good, but... And Rogue takes the cure. She loses her power. That is gone. We get to see Colossus, which is cool. The girl that was in Juno, she's the Shadow Cat. She goes through walls and everything. And she has a sort of love triangle with Rogue and Iceman. And it's just stupid as hell. The guy that plays Juggernaut, which I was happy Juggernaut was in this film, but it's bad. Magneto is solely relying more on Pyro and other mutants to help him out. And Mystique gets secure. Magneto says, "Sorry, my dear, you're not one of us anymore." That's it. And I hate this film for some reason for killing off characters. Patrick Stewart gets killed. Charles Xavier. Sorry, spoiler alert, but this is such a bad X-Men film. The Last Stand should have been the greatest one. Had a great ass trailer. But no, they screw it up because of terrible choices of killing off the characters. Not to mention, Jean Grey as the Phoenix goes along with the cure for the storyline. It's just plain damn awful. The action is tremendous. It's just the story is awful. And I can't love this film because the story is just stupid. And it solely revolves around either love triangles or the stupid plots, which is the cure. Out of a 10, 6.8 out of 10. 6.8 out of 10 for sure. Because the only thing that saves this movie is action. Some great performances by the guy that plays the Beast. Wolverine is always good. Hugh Jackman, the characters just, they revolve too much around them. So, that's number 3, 6.8. Now, I don't have X-Men Origins Wolverine, and let me tell you, that's the worst X-Men film of all time. I thought X-Men Last Stand was bad, but X-Men Origins Wolverine is just terrible. What they did to Deadpool is an outright like abomination for what they did to Deadpool. It's just so annoying. Ryan Reynolds actually played a good Deadpool. Well, not technically a good character. He actually brought the character to life, but how they screwed him up at the end is terrible. They messed up the origins of Wolverine totally. Apparently Sabretooth and Wolverine are brothers, which is totally stupid. I swear half this movie is just solely around Hugh Jackman to see him shirtless for eye candy for the ladies, or for men in this case. But I don't give a fuck. This movie is terrible. The plot is terrible. It's absolutely garbage. I almost hate this as much as Batman and Robin. That's how much I hate this film. And the thing is, though, Batman and Robin is the worst film of all time. This is a close second for me. Of what they did for Wolverine and how they did the storyline. The only thing that's good about it is the action scene. And Hugh Jackman's performance as Wolverine is always tremendous. But again, he's too overly hyped. And that's why it brings this film franchise entire downhill so much. Just because of that one. Whew. Okay, now, X-Men Origins out of the way. Out of a 10. Oh, God, I give that a 4.5. I hated that film. Now, X-Men The First Class. I have it on my PS3, but I do not have it on DVD. Now, X-Men The First Class, basically, was freaking awesome. It really helped build the franchise, because how X-Men Last Stand went, how the freaking X-Men The Last Stand went, then they went to freaking X-Men Origins Wolverine was just downright terrible. Then they had X-Men: The First Class, which was a brand new live. It shows the past of Charles Xavier and Magneto of how they became friends, why their story line is so good, and what's the difference between humans and mutants. It's a great, great film. I recommend it. Out of a 10, I give that like a 9.2. That is absolutely unbelievable film. The best film since Xmen United, and it could compete against the top favorites superhero for X-Men movies because it's really, really good. Story's great. They introduce new characters. Mystique's there, played by a new character, a new Beast actor. Oh, it's just a great, great film. We see Havoc, we see Banshee. Some really low-key mutants that we didn't see in the others. And it's such a great, great film. Like I said, 9.2. Now, the worst is definitely X-Men Origins. Number 5 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was the worst. Next is The Last Stand, which is a terrible, terrible film also. Then after that, it will have to be the first X-Men movie for number 3. Because this was actually a really good film. I really enjoyed it. It's just not as hyped as the others. It was still a great start. Then after that is X-Men: The First Class. That was a great, great film. I have hardly any complaints about it. Just how they did like some special effects, but it was still a great film. Now, X-Men 2 United is by far the best X-Men movie. Totally see this. I can understand people think this is the greatest superhero movie ever or the greatest superhero team-up ever. Great film. Totally watchable. See it. Now, if I have to, now, there's going to be a new film, not X-Men Origins Wolverine. This movie's called Wolverine. Basically, it takes place right after The Last Stand. Wolverine's doing his grief, having his grief over Jean's death, and I gotta tell you, I'm not looking forward to this because how The Last Stand went and then how freaking X-Men Origins Wolverine went. I seriously think they should take a break from Wolverine completely for another 3 years because he's too overly hyped, Hugh Jackman. You know, I love him as Wolverine. Too overly hyped. The movies were bad when it was solely focused on him. And I think they should focus it more on different characters. Hell, bring Cyclops back. Bring Nightcrawler back. Bring the Storm or something other than Wolverine. Now, I heard X-Men: The Days of Future Past, the new X-Men film, which will be in 2014. I'm looking forward to that because that takes right after Last Stand of the characters. The director hints there might be a Cyclops and Jean Grey appearance, hopefully, because I really want them back. They need to have them back because solely focus on Wolverine is going to make kids or us comic fans annoyed because Wolverine's not the leader of the team. Cyclops is. You have to introduce other characters. Now, I heard the guy that plays Colossus will be back. The guy that plays Iceman, the girl that plays Rogue will be back. So maybe she'll get her powers back. Then there'll be Shadowcat, the girl that played Juno. She'll be Kitty. And Wolverine will be there. Storm will be there. So far, no Nightcrawler. I think Beast will return. Mystique will return. And possibly Magneto. And I hear this film is a time travel movie, apparently. That's how bad X-Men: The Last Stand was. They're trying to rewrite their own story for that. They're trying to rewrite everything about what was the disaster of Last Stand because they had sending it back through time. That's the messed up problem. That's how bad you know when a film goes bad, when they try to change time and fix it. Whew, okay, now, like I said, the worst is definitely Origins, Wolverine Origins, then it's Last Stand, then it's X-Men's the great one. X-Men: The First Class was awesome. X-Men 2 is a classic. Like I said, that's my best and worst. I'd like to know what you think was the worst. If you disagree with me about how he said about Wolverine, and how he's overly hyped, or how the X-Men Last Stand was bad, or X-Men Origins Wolverine were bad, or you think I'm being too critical or too judgmental, I'm like a critic in this sense, but you cannot tell me you didn't find these movies ridiculous, some of these movies. Now, out of a 10 for this whole franchise for all 5 films, out of a 10, I give this 8.7. Just because Origins of Wolverine was so downright terrible, it should never even be spoken of again, or The Last Stand. What really brings this movie up is because of the First Class and then the Xmen United. Totally check out these movies out. I recommend it. Again, this is JJ Movies Reviews of the X-Men franchise review. Give me a call back. See you later, folks.